let's look at section 6.6, number 2 from the web work. Determine whether this integral is divergent or convergent, and if it's convergent, evaluate it. Okay, so a couple of things. Whenever I see an improper integral, either where one of the limits of integration is plus or minus infinity, or if I have a vertical asymptote, if the function's undefined at one of the limits of integration, I should rewrite it in terms of a limit. So I'm going to rewrite this as the limit as, let's do b approaches infinity of the integral from 7 to b. Okay, so I've changed this integral to a limit. And I'm imagining b is some constant that I'm just going to let get arbitrarily large. While I'm rewriting it, I might as well rewrite this as x, not to the 6/5, but to the negative 6/5 power, dx. Okay, now that it's in this term, in this format, I can definitely integrate it, and I'll just keep the limit there. This is the limit as b approaches infinity. The integral of x to the negative 6/5, I should add 1, so I get x to the negative 1/5. And then I should divide by 1/5, which is the same as multiplying by negative 5. And I'm going to evaluate that from x equals 7 to x equals b. Okay, well, let's see what happens. This is the same as the limit as b approaches infinity, and I'll plug in a b and I'll plug in a 7. So if I plug in a b, I get negative 5 times b to the negative 1/5. And if I plug in a 7, I get negative 5 times 7 to the negative 1/5. Okay, this is clearly a number right here. It's some constant. But we should figure out whether this is going to infinity or going to something else. So if I rewrite it one more time, the limit as b approaches infinity of, let's see, this would be negative 5 times, this is 1 over b to the 1/5. Minus a negative, I'll just say that's positive. 5 over 7 to the 1/5. Now, as b approaches infinity, this b to the 1/5 is going to get very large. So this whole term is going to go to 0. 1 over something that's going to infinity is going to 0. So this whole thing goes to 0, and I'm just left with 5 over 7 to the 1/5. And that's a fine way to write that answer.